Hello, my dear friends. Very good evening, very good morning to all of you. This video is especially going to be there in English. The series is going to be the law of vibration. We are going to basically talk about music and octaves. अगर हिंदी वाले आप हो तो मेरी एक गुजारिश है कि डब्ल्यू गान ट्रेडिंग टेक्निक्स का एक अलग से प्लेलिस्ट है हिंदी में, तो वहाँ जाके आप हिंदी के वीडियोस चेक कीजिए। ये सीरीज ऑलरेडी वहाँ पे बनाई हुई है। So we'll be starting with this series which is there. This as I just told in Hindi, this series has already been made in Hindi. So anyone who wants to view it in Hindi can see it over there. We are especially going to talk about things which are there, especially in the language which is English. So let's start. We are going to talk about law of vibration. We are going to talk about music. We are going to talk about octaves slowly and gradually. So this will be somewhere around a series of 4 or 5 videos together. Let's start with some basic things. Now, WT Gann had worked on various kind of techniques. It was in the price cycles. It was there in terms of 30 years, 60 years, 90 years, 100 years cycles together, bigger cycles than that. Apart from that, he used to work on octaves. There was numerology that he was connected with, astronomy, astrology, and other topics. But here we are going to specifically talk only about music, that is octaves. So let's try to go about that. Now, what do you mean by exact vibration? What is a vibration? See, vibration is something typically we'll try to explain that in terms of a science experiment. When I was there in 12th standard. So for anyone who is out of India, it would be more of 10 plus 2. So there was an experiment in 10 plus 2, which specifically talked about this equipment. Now, yes, I'll be also showing you a video about that, but the apparatus were in such a way that this is called as a sonometer. There used to be a fork, right? So fork has a basic frequency, right? And what happens is on this sonometer, there's going to be a specific length and some weight attached to that, right? When the configuration of weight as well as the length matches with the frequency of the fork, right? It starts vibrating. Now, what do you mean by vibration is that there are loops which have been formed. What do you mean by these loops and how do this loops look like? So I'll just try to show it across over here so that it becomes easier for you to just understand, try to interpret those things so that those are there in front of you. So this kind of loops have been formed. So the ratio is in such a way that, okay, whatever is the frequency of the fork that matches with the length of the string or the thread which has been attached. So if those are there as per the weight and I mean, we are not going into the details of the formula, but the length as well as the weight of the string and the weight attached over there, if they match with the frequency of the fork, the vibrations which are there, then this starts to vibrate altogether, first thing. And we can do one thing, we can just place across, let's say, a small piece of paper or maybe a ring across, which starts vibrating together with that, right? So this is how it is going to be. We first of all will be looking at this on the experiment so that it will be making easier for us to understand. We'll at least try to see the physical vibration. See, because it is very difficult to believe something until unless you're able to see that. So let's first of all try to see that with the help of an experiment. Once you understand that this actually vibrates, I mean, like, we are not able to see the vibrations over there practically as such. But yes, at least we would be able to see that the string does vibrate and the ring which is being placed above that, it tries to move. So that is a basic thing which would be happening over here. And with this we'll be seeing other things also. So probably we'll be seeing a mix of 2 3 different things. One is the details which have been given, especially in terms of what WD has to say, because let's say, for example, I say there are books which have been given by WD Gann. They also talk about vibration as such specifically, and with these books, yes, we will be able to know about the theory part. Let's say, for example, he says that, let's say this is page number 11. So what he talks in terms of vibration is this vibratory force can only be known by the moment they generate on the stocks and their values in the market. So we are not actually able to see this, because this is vibration is more of in terms of a force which is there. Uh, we can see that in the music part, which is there. Music, of course, we'll be able to see in the details in the coming chapters, but here we'll try to stick to some basic fundamentals, like try to feel the things which are there, so that you're able to understand those in a better way. Once you have that better understanding of those parts, probably then it would be a bit easier. See, he says This vibratory force can only be known by the movement they generate on the stocks and their values in the market, right? So this is one part. The proportion of an elements are a vibratory periodic function of its atomic weight. Yep. So this is quite a bit different from what we are talking about.
Gift this holiday season.
I'm sorry for that.
All new London.
I'm really sorry again for that part. So, yep, I guess I haven't searched over there. Sonometer study. If it is not there, yeah, the experiment is already there, so I need to probably skip. I am really, my apologies for this part, probably. So, yes, this experiment is there. Again, this is probably there in Hindi. It's not in English, so probably not well understood if you are transmitting or maybe talking in English. So this is how the apparatus are there. So this is the sonometer which is there. We can vary the length over here. This is the fork which you would be able to see. Oh, another. I'm really sorry for the advertisements. That's all coming from Google. I did restart the computer, so probably because of that, all these ads and rest of the stuffs are coming. Anyways, we're okay with that. Yeah, so somewhere around here. So yes, this is the sonometer, the thing which is there in his hand. This is called as a fork. When you hit over here, it starts vibrating, right? The vibrations cannot be seen, but it can be only felt. These two nodes are there where we'll be able to change the length of this string which is there. So the string length can be changed accordingly, and we have a weight which is being tied across to the end of this pulley, right? So the multiple or maybe the mathematical formula in which we'll be able to derive the frequency, the nodes which would be coming on the string as well as the length would be coming on. So if I'm able to get the details over here, I'll just try to maybe just go ahead. So see, these two blocks are there. We'll be able to change the length of these blocks over here. So the weights have been kept over here, and let's try to get it a bit ahead so that we are able to see the details, right? So yep, let me just go a bit back on that side. So here we'll be able to change the length, right? And what happens is there's a small ring which has been kept. We'll be able to see this when this video has been zoomed across, and because it gets zoomed, so we'll be able to see or probably get details, right? So this is the small ring which has been kept on over here between, right? So what happens is once the fork vibrates and the vibratory length or the frequency matches with the length and also the weight attached to that. If they are in vibration with the frequency which matches with the frequency of the fork, this ring starts moving. So it starts vibrating because the string vibrates. The Yeah, see here it has been written the fork frequency as such specifically, and yep, let me just show it over to you so that you understand how the yes. So because this fork has a frequency, it starts moving. So the ring which is being kept over here, it starts moving when it comes to when the length as well as the weight comes into a proportion which is proportionate with the frequency of the fork. So let me go a bit back, probably. Guess this should be see this starts vibrating, right? So this vibrates when it coming to the length over here, right? So yes, see this has been vibrating. So when the length of the string is there in proportion to the frequency of the fork, the length and the weight. So we have two variables over here. One is the length and second is the weight. So both the things do match. So this is the first and basic fundamental part. This is just to show you that, okay, actually vibrations does happen. And because of this vibration, probably the string which is there, it starts moving. not the string, but the ring which is there on the string, that starts moving. So probably just wanted to show that. So probably he's doing that experiment with those details. So this is how it is altogether, right? So let's come to the practical part. What happens is in the stock market also, depending on the stock, because every stock has got its own vibration levels which are there, and the frequency which is there. So when the stocks in terms of price as well as in time, if that comes down to that specific vibration levels in terms of price and time, which is being compared to the vibration of the stock, right? So vibration of the stock is different, and price and time, when do they match with the vibration of that specific stock index or whatever you trade across in commodities or other things, the price then terms to change. So this is what is the basic fundamental which is there, again in terms of all the details which have been put up together, right? So this is what the sentence is trying to say, is this vibratory forces can only be known by the movement they generate on the stocks and their values in the market. Now depending on first thing is the value, right? The value of the stocks which are there, and second thing is the price and the time in the market. There can be smaller reversals which are there or bigger reversals. For example, if we are seeing this more of in terms of a bull and bear cycle, right? So if this is a bull and bear cycle, the vibrations which would be there, that would be proportionate in that way. So this would be on a longer term, right? If you go to a shorter time frame, maybe on daily, or maybe we are talking about 15 minutes time period, or maybe even smaller time frame, or maybe somewhere around between that, that is between daily and 15-minute chart, you'd be accordingly able to see the vibrations of that time period of that frequency. And because of that frequency, the price and time, if they are coming in vibrations, so you'll be able to see the reversals. So the reversals can be there from the top side, or it can be from the bottom side. So from the top side it starts moving down, from the bottom side it starts moving up. So this is how it is, right? So let's try to get more of into details on this part. As I told you about, yes, the length which is there, the frequency, it keeps on changing. Let's go to one more page number. This is page number 12. Now here one more important thing has been given. Everything in existence is based on exact proportion and perfect relationship. Now what is this exact proportionship? Exact proportion and perfect relationship, right? Let's say we'll take an example, because I've been trading mostly in Nifty, so I'll give you examples of Nifty. If you're trading, let's say in commodities, or you maybe in Forex, or Bitcoin, or Dow Jones, or whatever stock or index that you select across, you can definitely check on those parts. Most of the things are quite similar in that way. Let's say, for example, the index is going from one point to another point, and it has been reversed. So when you see in terms of reversal, yes, it has come down to a specific proportion. So now this proportion which is there, this comes down to the 50% proportion which is there, right? So this can be a relationship, this can be a proportion, right? So if this is a relationship, this goes to the proportion which is around 162, right? We'll see this more of into details when we go maybe to the octaves part, and slowly and gradually to the anagram part also. So maybe we'll be able to elaborate further into those details, not really now, because we are just trying to understand the basic thing, right? So if it comes down probably, and from this, if passes above this point and goes to second point, probably this is a ratio which has been created. This is again a relationship. So this is a proportion ratio. This is a relationship which has been derived. Yes, how to derive that? Slowly and gradually you'll see that, right? But if this, let's say, for example, over here, we see that the movement which is there, when it comes to the 50%, again for the 50%, it goes to a specific point, which over here is in perfect relationship. This comes to 162, this comes to 162, right? So this can be a proportion relationship, right? If the proportion changes, let's say, for example, over here it is come down to 50, but here it is not come down to 50, right? So this is not 50% exactly, but it is somewhere around 23.6. So the ratios do change, right? And the relationship also varies, right? So here again, if we check down, yes, this has come down to 23.6. The ratio has again changed. The relationship has again changed. So this may vary into on various parts together, right? So this was one thing. Let's go to one more thing which is there into the book. Uh, what our scientist Faraday says is, there is nothing in the universe but mathematical points of forces. So these are all forces which are being impacted together. We need to understand how these forces do work. right? Now if you talk about Tesla used to tell everything about that, okay, if you want to study the universe, you should know about, we should study it in terms of energy, frequency and vibration. So if you wanted to study the universe, how does it work, you need to understand energy, frequency and vibration. So again, we are trying to see about frequency and vibrations. If do match, what are the changes which may be happening over there simultaneously. So yes, these are first of the some of the parts we would try to understand more of in terms of music also, because there are various interpretations which have been given for music. Let's say I try to find out more about music over here. So we see various aspects together, details. Musicorium. So this is one thing. Uh, See, here it talks about discord of two simple harmonic notes in music. So again, it talks about something in terms of harmonic notes, which is related to music, right? So yes, probably you need to study this book in details, and then probably you'd be able to understand more of the details. As harmony in music may be described as a union of sounds which individually appear different, but when blended together form a collective chord, right? So if you want to understand details, I'm just trying to mark about music wherever it comes down to, right? The extremities of one or two octaves. So again, octaves, music, this is there. So, but obvious things have been given over here, producing musical intervals and those which produce color. So again, it has been related to different things, right? So yes, but more about, yes, we need to study music, see overall the details about musics have been given over here. So it's not only the book which is there in Law of Vibration. If you go across another book of his, that is W.D. Gann's, which is our all favorite book, Tunnel Through the Air. And if I try to search out in terms of music, I'll be getting about some relevant things. So yes, if I try to see music, yes, it has been given in terms of the poems which are there, right? It talks about music, tones of gold. One more important thing which is being given over here is, let me just try to zoom it. Probably would be making things easier for me, right? The beginning of the art, science, music, agriculture, of knowledge, language, and one more important thing where music has been given, so it becomes quite important for us. See, he talks about some very really important and interesting thing over here. He says that that is one of the reasons why we love them all and more. Pondelade said there are three things I have always loved and never understood, right? So this is loved means something really important, never understood. Probably we need to understand that. And this is paintings, music, and woman, right? So paintings is, yes, again, paintings has talked about various things together. You need to study those paintings. Probably you'll be able to get into the details. We will not cover the topic of paintings as such, quite complex, at least for me. But yes, they are giving a lot of meaning. They have a number of hidden things which are there together. Then we have music, again, music in terms of octaves. Yes, this is a study of interest together. And again, woman, yes. So if you're talking about W.D. Gann as such, in the book, yes, you'll be finding relevance to Mary, and then it goes to Venus and other things together, right? So yes, definitely things will be studied more of in details. We'll try to see one more very important thing that we need to explore. That is Mr. Pythagoras. So we'll try to see what Pythagoras has to say over here. So this is page number 191. Pythagoras said, there are in woman's eye two sort of years, the one of grief, the other of decay, right? I think that is because there are two kinds of men. One who appreciate love and honor and gives sympathy. The other kind who is selfish, expect everything for nothing and must meet with tackle. Right? Now, if you try to see on Google and try to find out something that he has said, you would probably be not able to understand or maybe search over there, because this is something really crucial. And probably what W. Gann had to say over there is, first of all, W. Gann music. That is the first part, and second is probably he's talking about some kind of ratios which have been interpreting because of this. So we need to identify and see what are this. So we'll try to see more of in terms of details. So what I did is on Google, I tried to find out more about in terms of Pythagoras and music. So when I did try to find about that on Google, I got about Pythagoras tuning. So over here, you'll be finding more of details in terms of Pythagoras tuning is a system of musical tuning. So frequencies, ratios, intervals, his ratios have been given 3:2, and others which are quite important. You need to get into the subject in detail, then you'll be able to understand the method that WD adopted and use in terms of the music which is related to Pythagoras as such. So there are different articles, details being given on here. This is just a overlay of the thing that we are talking about. So this is all about music. So you need to study more of in terms of details, then you'll be able to understand this. So these are musical notes, then ratios which are there, right? So humble request is this article has already been given over here, so you try to search more of in terms of that, and you'll be able to find out HZ, that is hertz. So this is talking about frequency. So music again, frequency. We will be talking about vibrations. We'll be talking about energy as such, specifically, right? So this is some of the things that you'll be able to see through tunnel through the air. And if you see in terms of energy, frequency, vibrations, yes, we'll be able to see various things together. Even if we talk about the market as such, specifically, as I talked about, yes, to at certain frequency levels, which is at higher levels, or maybe in terms of frequency of the time which is there, and in terms of the price which is there at a specific time and at a specific time, if these frequencies do match, yes, definitely you'll be getting some reversals. And as I told you, secondly, yes, if the frequencies are at a higher level, yes, so there the reversals which are there, those are also being going to be proportionate as per the frequency and as per the vibrations, right? So definitely you'll be able to see smaller reversals, you'll be able to see bigger reversals, right? And if this time and price do not match, let's say for example, if they are similar, for example, it is going to be 14 bars or maybe somewhere around 14 months, and if it is going to be 12 months, almost around the same period, from here it goes to a specific level which is 162, and from here also it goes to a specific level which is 162. But if the frequency and the vibration is probably at a different level, so you, for example, here it is 23.6, so it goes at a different level. In terms of price, it is only 3 bars. Yes, over here it is only a short one. 3 bars is somewhere around 2 months, so not more than that. Started from 20th of January to somewhere around 24th of March 2020. So it was only 2 months, not more than that. So from that, there was a huge push on the top side. And over here, if you see, yes, this was somewhere around 10 months, and from 10 months again we got a push upward direction. So definitely this should be happening together, right? So this was the first part. We'll go to the second parts and try to dig in more of in terms of music, octaves, what is the meaning of music, what we need to relate, see to try to see more about the theory part. And slowly and gradually we get into the details and try to find out what is the theory, how it is the practical part, and how the both can be correlated, and we can come to some conclusion. So this is vast. We go to, first of all, start with the music, we'll go to octaves, then we'll go to the frequencies related to that, the vibration that happens together with that, and then probably we'll go into a very critical topic which is called about anagram. So anagram we need to study in detail so that we can get to some conclusions on that part. So stay tuned with us, and definitely we'll try to get more of into the details of this. Okay, thank you so much, and my humble request is please do watch our videos on our YouTube channel. Please do subscribe, like, and also please do comment, because this is very important for us to understand what you do like, what are your views on to that part. Okay, thank you so much. Bye, take care.